Hi there, my name is Fix Fox and welcome to Heroes of Might and Magic 3. We are back and picking right up where we left off with the gem campaign. This is going to be scenario 2 in New Beginnings, after the Amulet. And we are meeting an old friend. Maybe not someone that we got to know very well in previous iterations of Heroes of Might and Magic. Perhaps this may be your very first time meeting this individual. I must tell you there's something insidious about him, something ominous, almost as if a great cataclysm is in the works. But right now, these are all simply suspicions. I want you to welcome our friend, my friend and yours, Sandro, the Wizard's Apprentice. He is going to be giving us some type of challenge, some sort of quest, so that way we can defeat the necromancers once and for all, and we're never going to have to worry about a necromancer ever again. Let's dive into the intro and go from there. After the Amulet, acquire the Amulet of the Undertaker to win this scenario. However, if Jem or Clancy are defeated in combat, the scenario is lost. Your heroes are limited to level 15, but Jem and Clancy will carry their experience, skills, and spells on to the next scenario. Before I do anything else, let me make sure I'm on impossible difficulty. That means that we will have no resources, and the computer will play to the very best of its ability. We are going to be the green allies, and we have one red enemy here. And we have our choice between 3 bonuses. This will be the blacksmith, which for the ramparts will give us access to first aid tents. We also will have the opportunity to get 15 wood, which, considering we're going to have no resources, might be pretty good. And then +1 spell power. It's a very small effect size, but it should stay with us for the rest of these scenarios in this campaign. So a small effect, but very ever-present, very good. Some wood can help us get off to a good start. And then the blacksmith kind of sucks. Now that I've said that, we are going to let the dice roll decide what we choose, and it's probably going to tell us that we should take the the first aid tent. Nope, we got lucky. I thought that I would jinx myself, and I'm kind of glad that we did not. So a 4 is going to be this 15 wood. And let's listen to Sandro and his proposition, or let's at least get an insight. Let's get an introduction to who this individual may be.
I have met a wizard named Sandro who is conducting research to combat necromancy. He is creating a magical amulet which will ward off the undead and wants to pay me a large sum of gold to find the pieces he needs to construct it. He seems to think me quite the mercenary.
He seems to think me quite the mercenary. Jem, I don't know if you forgot what you did in Enroth, but that's pretty much what you were. You were pretty much a mercenary. You were a hero of magic, but you were for hire, so. I told Clancy of my agreement to help a wizard's apprentice, Sandro, find the Amulet of the Undertaker for his master, Ethric. Clancy stroked his beard approvingly when I said the amulet was to be used for anti-necromancy research, and he surprised me by offering to help me with the quest. I replied I would be glad to have his company again as long as he understood that this was my quest, not his. He assured me he understood that quite well, and then complimented me on my Clover Green militia campaign, making me laugh. Flatterer, of course. What else would you expect from a man who can sweet-talk unicorns? So we start off with 2 heroes in this scenario. We do have Clancy, who is a level 7 ranger. He's got 4 attack, 5 defense, 2 power, and 1 knowledge. I am very sad to say that we did not get all of Clancy's backstory because we completed scenario 1 in too fast of a time. So just to read his portrait here, it indicates that Clancy is on leave from his duties as a general for Lord Fayette, and he decides to join Jem on her quest. He is a unicorn speciality hero, so after he gets to level 6, which he's already there now, unicorns will get additional skills for their attack and their defense. Can be pretty useful, can be pretty powerful. Hard to build a strategy around that, though. He starts off with expert resistance, so he's got a 20% magic resistance. I believe that this stacks with the dwarves' 20 and 40% magic resistance that they have, not to mention the magic dampening of unicorns themselves. So I think that you can get a dwarf who essentially has up to, as a battle dwarf, 40% base magic resistance, plus 20% from the unicorn. Is that how that works? I need someone to fact check me in the comments, but right now that's what I'm planning on. He also has the expert pathfinding, which is tremendous. So if we come across some rough terrain, Clancy's going to be our man. And with the advanced logistics and additional 20% movement over land, this could not go any better, I think. Put that along with 23 centaurs, and I am quite happy to have Clancy here in our army. Not to mention now, we also have Jem the Sorceress, who this is her campaign, not his. We've built her up to be a 1 attack, 4 defense, 4 power, 7 knowledge sorceress. I had erroneously mentioned in the previous scenario that sorceress was the wizard, the magic faction for the ramparts, and it is not, it is druids. This sorceress title that Jem has is simply a holdover from the previous games in Heroes Might and Magic 2, and that is in fact part of her story from transitioning from Heroes 2 and Enroth over here to Erathia. We've built her up pretty well though. These secondary skills, I had a bit of a conversation with my father. He is an avid Heroes of Might and Magic player, as I've mentioned previous times here on the channel, and we talked about what are the best skills you could possibly have for Jem to make her the best hero possible. You're going to have wisdom, you're going to have the first aid. What do you do with these other 6 secondary skill slots? And ultimately, I think that I like his thinking where he mentioned, well, I personally prefer to have earth magic, air magic, and then maybe logistics, maybe leadership, but whatever schools of magic you can get, throw in some water magic there, you're going to be feeling pretty good. And he mentioned something that I didn't really anticipate, that I had perhaps forgotten about, and that is intelligence. And that ability to have more spell points than your knowledge will dictate might be excellent for a very spell castery hero. So we're going to keep an eye out on what we do to round out Jem's secondary skills here. Maybe we even get through this scenario up to level 15 without filling these last 3 slots. She does have 22 centaurs and a book full of spells. We're going to get to these adventure map spells in just 1 second, but as far as the combat spells go, I think that we're going to make great use of this expert slow. I think we're going to make great use of the shield and the stone skin. Nice to know we always have a magic arrow here not too far away. And then there's some possible use cases here with this expert death ripple. While going against enemy forces is probably going to use this destroy undead because it's not going to hurt our troops, perhaps there might be some use cases where we can get dragons and then the expert death ripple can be used as a little itty-bitty, teeny-tiny Armageddon spell, just to damage all these neutral creatures that might be on the map. So worth noting that we have some strategy potentially there, and if we are able to get some undead into our group, we do have basically a resurrection spell for them. So lots of tactical advantages we have there, and as far as our main home base of operations, we do not have any other types of advantages. It looks like those advantages that we brought with our heroes, those are going to be what we need to really rely on. With no gold and no resources, minus that 15 wood, this is going to be a little bit of an uphill battle to fill out our rampart town. 14 centaurs, and it looks like we have the ability to hire a level 3 ranger Ryland, and then a level 1 alchemist Rissa. It's kind of interesting actually. So I guess that if you are hiring Rampart hero, they're going to hire in at level 3, and then other heroes will hire in at level 1. Funny enough though, with this +1 to Mercury, I might just take Rissa. That might be the most important thing I can do here. The generous tip from the barkeep indicates that a wise man once said, don't share your wisdom with anybody. What am I doing here? Playing Heroes Might and Magic for everyone to see. I don't know. Anyway, so I think that right now, knowing that we've got this excellent hero here with Clancy, this excellent hero here with Jem, we should try and be aggressive with our spells. We should try and figure out how we can maximize our early game before we are able to get troops, because hey, this is all we're going to get. I think that we see an ore pit here, we see a sawmill here. Let's plan on getting those immediately, but first let me just cast View Earth. We are probably going to do this at the beginning of every scenario from henceforth. This will reveal the location of all resources and mines and terrain to the caster, and it looks something like this. Wow. This is the furthest I can zoom out. This is our entire map. When I zoom in, it looks like we have sawmill here, ore mine here in the bottom left. It looks like we have a sulfur mine here up the road, and it looks like there's mercury here to the immediate north. Looks like crystal to the far east, and then there's gems somewhere further up north. So insofar as getting some of these resources go, it's going to be a little bit difficult. We may not consider hiring Rissa as much as I might have before. If Mercury is not too far away, that +1 Mercury might not matter. Whenever I see this, I have to think of these roads in this term. Generally, roads lead somewhere, and even though I can't see things like castles and artifacts and heroes, I think that the roads can tell me an awful lot. For example, I'm thinking that up here to the north, the way that this road just trails off here, there's got to be something there. Probably a castle. This little road does a little T-junction here. Probably a castle. Probably a castle. And again, and again, and again. That's just what I think I can indicate. And sometimes I see people not using these adventure map spells nearly so much as they could. And I think that that's a bit of a shame and a bit of a struggle. I mentioned in the previous... Was it the previous scenario? I mentioned in the Surf and Turf campaign we're doing in Heroes of Might and Magic 2 right now, that if I was in a Heroes of Might and Magic match with the devil for my very soul, I would be casting these adventuring map spells just about every day. So in our immediate area, this has been very useful to figure out where we need to go and what we need to do. I think that because Clancy does not have the spells, I'm going to give over all these troops over to Jim, and I'm going to have him be my secondary hero for the moment. It's going to be his job to try and get some of these creatures back and forth to Gem. She's going to be the one that's going to fight these wolf raiders for me. And let me just think. I think I want to break off single stacks, and difficult to say exactly what spell we're going to use. We're going to fight this though, just to kind of find out. I think I can do even better with some spells. Let's not apply these battle results. Just see what we're up against. With 69 spell points, nice. I think that we can do an awful lot here. We could simply do some magic arrows with 10 hit points each. One magic arrow is pretty much going to kill one whole stack of these wolf raiders. In the interest of kind of keeping my spell points up for future battles, I think I'm just going to attack them. I'm going to crowd around my centaurs. Yep. Eventually, we're going to want to break out of containment, but for now, I think that this will be just fine for me. Notice that I have a tough time switching between Heroes of Might and Magic 2 and 3, and I have immediately forgotten to use my wait function. That's okay. It's going to take me a minute to switch back and forth, but we will get there. If I use the shift key, I can see exactly how far these enemies can go. It looks like if I magic arrow right here, that's going to be the absolute best for me. Let's wait on our biggest stack. Wait. And just let them come attack me. Looks like we're able to ignore major damage from them. We'll heal this gentleman right here. And then with 7 hit points left, I think we can just open up a little bit of an advantage near the top. Here. And here. Oh, look, it takes 3 centaurs to kill 1 wolf raider. Good to know. Very good to know. Otherwise, I mean, this battle is easily won. We've mitigated all the losses we needed to. I think I'm just going to hit Q and end the battle from there. And that is correct. So we take no losses here. That looks much better to me. Okay. Rather than have Gem go out of my way and get onto the sawmill, I think that one of the tactics that I learned, again, from my dad, is using the secondary hero to save the movement points. If Gem is going to be the main tank fighting unit, the main fighting force, it's not really her job to pick up things like sawmills and wood, although this one pile of wood is kind of in my way, and so I shall do so. It's really Clancy's job to come on in the back door there and pick up these additional opportunities for me. Because we have no other gold, no other resources at this time, I don't think that we have much else to do there. This road, I'd noticed there was one road that went to the north, one that went to the east, and then I didn't really notice this one that goes to the south. I'm a little bit intrigued. There are a pack of wights here and this pack of archers. I think that since we're on road here, I'm going to attack the pack of wights just so Clancy can get by and just check this out for me in a turn or two. I'm not too worried about this fight, especially because we've got our Destroy Undead. Is that going to be better at this point? For 15 spell points, it'll be quicker and it will do less damage. This will be just fine. We're just going to wait all the way around. And move into a position here. Being very fast, as fast as we can. Trying to bring down the closest stack of creatures here. If these were Wraiths, I would do this fight much differently, of course, because the upgraded version of the Whites do have the ability to siphon mana off of a hero, and we've mentioned that mana is going to be pretty important for us. We are trying to save as much mana as we possibly can. But they do, even though they don't have the ability to drain mana, these creatures do have the ability to heal. They regenerate, much like war trolls and trolls in other iterations of Heroes of Might and Magic. They're a pretty good creature. I tend to enjoy using these creatures when they're on my team, just for that reason. Okay, once again, no losses, and I could pop into the Subterranean Gate. I think it is better for me to head straight on over to these archers. I think that this way is actually going to be a little bit faster, so that way Gem can actually clear out this ore mine and such. I'm hoping that Clancy doesn't go down and find something crazy, but we're going to find out before we have Jen move here on day 2. Looks like a homestead, looks like a campfire, spirit of oppression, so no positive morale, a dwarven treasury, a learning stone for an extra 1,000 experience. This is really not too bad. I don't think that I mind having Gem clear up to the north and going north up this road. I could go north, or I could go here to the east. Once again, when I cast the View Earth, I think though that there's more opportunities this way, and it looks like there's probably a castle here, probably a castle here, but it looks like that there's more resources, more opportunities up to the north. Aha! Look at this. This tells us a lot. We know that red is in this area. There is some enemy force here because they have flagged this ore mine. That is a good use case for our View mines. So, or our View Earth. So that's actually pretty darn important. I think that that's even more reason for Gem to head north. And so we're going to head north right now with her. I'm going to probably try and pick up these elves first though, and maybe I can get the elves. Oh, I have no gold whatsoever. I suppose I should have gotten the treasure chest and then headed on up to get these elves. I will purchase the elves that I can though. There's only 2. And we'll probably take the gold here. 2,000 gold, not too bad. And then probably this campfire as we kind of make our way. 8 centaurs, I think we can once again do better. And this might be a time where we end up using a different spell, maybe a better spell. 55 points of damage. I guess that frost ring isn't going to work because those creatures are just too far away. I could always haste. Slowing these creatures is probably not going to help too much. I could death ripple. That would be great. Let's not do that. Yeah, but with 10 and 10 hit points, we just need 50 to 60 points of damage. We might as well just do the magic arrow. I'm going to cast this on the marksman though, because they have 2 shots as opposed to the archers single shot. We're going to wait. They do kill one of our centaurs, and the rest of our centaurs are going to get right across the battlefield just like this. And I'm not even going to attack. I don't want the archers to do full damage on the retaliation. We're just going to head across the battlefield where we can, and this is very nice. Okay, I will cast one more magic arrow here. It might be a little bit of overkill, but the saving of these troops I have is pretty important. It's probably better actually to lose 1 centaur than lose a couple of those spell points. Now that I think about it, it's just when you're in the mindset of trying to save troops, it's kind of hard to hit the brakes and rethink things. So I might have gotten a little bit too hasty there. According to Sandro, the Amulet of the Undertaker is located to the north of the Clifftree Castle in a ghost dragon horde. The amulet is located to the northeast of Clifftree Castle in a ghost dragon horde. We're going to have to defeat ghost dragons at some point. That's actually pretty interesting to me, because then that indicates to me that we are absolutely going to have to do some real development of our castles. I don't want to go into some ghost dragons with just a few elves with some pegasi, things like that. I really want to have some excellent troops if I'm going to have to defeat some big bad guys. These vampire lords, I can beat them, but for the +1, I just don't think it's that important. Legs of the Legion, is that your first or your second level creatures that will get a bonus? I think it's your second level creatures. So I'm not too keen on getting the legs of the Legion at this time. I'm really not. One thing I just realized though, I know that we're casting spells all the time. We can actually use this View Earth there. So we got enemies here, enemies here. We can also use it to go underground. Aha! So if I zoom in here as much as I can, This is pretty good information. So I wasn't sure how far this cavern would go for Clancy. And knowing that we can see the Minotaurs right here in this one artifact, it's nice to know that there's probably not too much else here that we might miss out on. There is crystal underground if we would prefer to go use that. And then there is some underground up here. More than that, though, I cannot say. It looks like there is a gold mine underground. 2 underground gold mines. Very interesting. Okay. So, lots of value out of this View Earth spell. And so, since we cannot slip past the Minotaur Kings... Hold on. They are guarding some actually pretty good artifacts. I think that this Black Shard of the Dead Knight is a +3 to attack. It is a right-handed weapon. And then the Still Eye of the Dragon. I think that that one's +1 attack, +1 defense. Not to mention this Red Keymaster's Tent. The tents have made a return. And so that way we can get through some barriers at some point down the road. I'm going to step on this Dwarven Treasury. I'm not going to attack it. It says it is a horde of dwarves. It's not that many. Oh wait, it's a horde of dwarves and a pack of battle dwarves. So that is, let's see, a pack. I think that that's probably 4 stacks of 20 and then 1 stack of 20 on the dwarves. If I had to guess, I think that that's probably going to be 100 dwarves. Probably going to be 5,000. Probably 5,000 gold and then a little bit of crystal, if I had to guess. Rather than go out of my way to see what else these creatures are guarding, I'm just going to continue on up this road. I think that that's going to be the best thing for me, just so I can see the enemy coming, because we know there's enemies to the north. There's this pack of basilisks. I am going to be able to defeat them, and if there's dwarves here in Strongland, I'm definitely going to beat them, and that's essentially going to be an extra free 500 gold. Let's not lose our tent here. These fights may not be particularly interesting in the early goings, but it's interesting to me just to kind of see how this all goes, how this all shakes out. We're going to just do a lot of skipping here. And this will give us some time to consider how we really fight these enemies here. I think I'm just going to start off. I'm just going to go to here and then start to use some of my magic arrows to once again whittle them down. Is there a better spell? We've already talked about this Frost Ring for 12 points of magic. I don't think that that's anywhere worth it. This will kill 2 of these basilisks at a time. Oh, somebody's getting a little bit antsy. I think that we can kill 1 whole stack of basilisks at a time. We sure can. And I think that we'll actually potentially lose 1 centaur on the retaliation. So we're just going to end up skipping a lot of these centaurs from here on out. I will take the retaliation from 1 basilisk as I continue my rampage with this magic arrow. And I actually don't know. Yep, they ended up doing exactly 8 damage, so good to know that we're at least keeping track of our magic. We're keeping track of our hit points. I suppose that this battle is going to be a little bit costly insofar as magic points go, but I think that we're going to have the opportunity to resupply potentially in this upcoming castle here. Once again, only 1 centaur, and we end up keeping the first aid tent. Glorious victory. I'm going to save you the trouble. I'm just going to accept that victory. I'm going to accept that. That's fine. There's a mage guild right here, and I have used a healthy amount of my spell points. I'm down to 20. I think I'm going to go on in here. I'm going to purchase the level 1 mage guild because it can eventually be used to get me a extra 500 gold per day at the town hall. It doesn't really matter to me where my gold is coming from, just that I'm getting it. So that'll give me an opportunity to get some additional gold right now. We've already got the homestead here. I know that we are out of resources. It looks like wood is not going to be too big of a problem because of the choices we've made prior. And so I think that it won't hurt my feelings too bad to get a marketplace. Having at least 1 marketplace can be useful. It'd probably be best to have them in the same town, in the same castle, again, so that way we can get our gold generating items, but all the same. Okay, I'm actually not sure. I kind of want to keep Clancy with Gem, but then again, I also want to get up this road. Oh, Vampire Lord's right there. That tells me everything I need to know. And then rather than go by road, I'll go out of my way just a little bit to see what else is here. There's this Hourglass of the Evil Hour. I believe that negates or that affects luck. There's this Wish's Hut here that could be interesting. I say interesting because we are still trying to fill out these secondary skills here. And what can we expect out of that? I'm not too sure. Otherwise, once again, let me just make sure I don't lose my way. Let me cast View Earth here. Here and here. I can't tell if this is a break in the trees or not. I can't tell if we're able to just go this way, but I think I want to find out. I really think I want to find out. There's a part of me that wants to go up this road, and then there's a part of me that wants to just explore. So I'm going to kind of go in this direction because I can see, well, I can see the dwarves. Maybe because there's sulfur right here, I think we just saw. Master Genies, I'm not fighting them, not today. Not with centaurs. Oh, Crown of the Supreme Magi. That looks pretty okay to me. We're probably going to end up going there very quickly. And then there's wood. There's another sawmill. I guess wood is not going to be very important, and we can absolutely defeat these Cerberi and these basilisks. So we're going to get the basilisks first, and then go from there. Once again, oh, these are even less troops than we had to deal with before. I think that we're going to just be able to split up this fight like this. Don't ask me why I'm hitting weight. I actually mean to hit defend. Okay. And we will spend one more magic arrow. Mitigate all these losses. Okay. And that'll be this fight for a +4, I believe, to our knowledge. That feels pretty excellent. A mad wizard who has been terrorizing the region has foolishly chosen you as his target today. Realizing that his power comes from his crown, you take aim with your bow, knocking the crown from his head and releasing him from his crazed madness. Grateful to be free, he lets you keep the crown. That is going to be a +4 to our knowledge skill. Worth noting, it's kind of silly to know that, hey, this crown turned this guy crazy, and now we're going to put it on our head. Hello, Gem, are you okay? This is not logicking right now. I'm having a problem with the thought process that's going on here. I'm going to take the gold. I would love the experience. I think that since we are only able to get up to level 15, it's not going to be very difficult to invest in experience when it comes down to fighting monsters, fighting the enemy. I think that we're going to be just fine. Let's get some additional gold generation right now. More than anything else. More than anything else. That's going to be probably the most useful thing for me. I guess we just needed the tavern, not the level 1 mage guild here. That's okay. I wanted the level 1 mage guild just so I had a place to resupply my spell points. Then on to day 5, I'm going to have Clancy go a little bit out of his way here, again to explore. So there's that alchemist lab we talked about. I think there was another mine over here. No, but there's a water wheel. Legs of the Legion. Perhaps we can get that and find out what it's about. Once again, it says we're going to lose this tent. I don't think we ought to. Oh, now this is interesting. So these creatures are much faster than us, and because they're so much faster, they're going to get to all go first. I would have absolutely cast slow on them if I'd had the chance initially. We're going to cast it now. And so they're going to go down from 8 speed down to 4 speed. Looks like these bottom creatures are going to be able to attack me. We will see how big of a deal that is. I still think that 48 centaurs can do a big wallop of damage. That's going to be 100 hit points. I think that we're probably going to kill 2 to 3 of these creatures. Oh, and a thing that I missed out on, I erroneously said in the previous playthrough, because I'm still getting up to speed with Heroes Might Magic 3, I said, oh, I'm missing my damage calculator. No. There is a damage calculator. It's at the very bottom. It's here in the status bar, right under my turn order. It says Gem Cast Slow, and there it says Attack Cerberi, 93 to 140 damage. I never knew that that was a thing. I think that that might be a Horn of the Abyss edition. I'm not sure if that was in the base game or not. If it was in the base game, I never knew it was there. So, feels pretty darn good to learn these things. That just means that if we miss out on 7 damage, if we do the absolute bare minimum of damage, one of these creatures will survive. Otherwise, it's most likely that we're going to kill all 4. And in fact, we do. We ended up doing 120 points of damage. That seems much more reasonable. Does it really matter for me to move these centaurs? Absolutely it does, for this reason. We want to make sure that we don't put ourselves in a position where we are going to get attacked by these creatures twice. I don't think that these centaurs can get all the way down here to help, and so I'm just going to try and make sure that I don't take more damage than I ought to. I'm going to end up sacrificing 2 of these centaurs, and we're going to defend on these other creatures here. Okay, so this is a real question, and I do not know the answer. Did the enemy know that it was going to get good morale? On the one hand, this creature waited, and they did not get good morale. On the other hand, this creature did wait, and it got good morale after it waited. Does the AI know when it's going to get the good morale? This would indicate to me that no, it does not. This second stack that waited, because they didn't get the good morale, why would you wait otherwise unless you were planning on getting the good morale? But this creature did, and then it got to attack me. Just a little bit interesting. I don't really know what to make of that. So this might be actually a reasonable time. Let's see. Killing 2 of these creatures. I can kill 2 just like this. I've already devoted myself to losing these centaurs. I will just cast 1 of my magic arrows on this stack here. 5 hit points left. I don't think I can kill all 4 Cerberi now. 89 to 134 points of damage. It's less likely. We still were able to get them. We're going to defend twice. And a couple more times. Goes 1. Goes 2. We'll heal our biggest stack. And we will cast 1 more magic arrow here as we finish this other big stack off. 5 hit points. 5 hit points. Let's see how this goes. There. And there. And here. Oh. Centaurs are tough. Centaurs are tough. And I did look it up. I had mentioned in the previous scenario that, you know, which creatures should we expect to, or excuse me, which faction should we expect to have the most hit points on general out of their faction? And the answer is pretty much the top 3 is Tower, as I had suggested, Rampart, and actually I was surprised to see Castle. I did not realize that the Castle troops were going to be so tanky. I guess it makes sense. The Archangel is tremendously tanky. The Halberdiers are stupendous as a first level creature. There's a lot of good things that are coming out of the Castle faction. I am going to head down to the south rather than head over in this direction. I don't think it's going to hurt my feelings too bad if Clancy ends up using a spot up here, just to kind of explore and see what's going on. We're gonna give him that opportunity, and we're going to try and upgrade this one town. The likelihood of getting 10 crystal. We already passed up the 10 crystal that was in the underground. Because it's day 5, I don't think it's quite likely that we're going to get there anytime soon. It is a gold investment for these dwarves. I am going to do the investment though. We did not end up using dwarves pretty much at all in the previous scenario, but we are probably going to end up using them in this scenario, I think. Using our view earth once again. Okay, so there's more enemy activity over here. They are continuing to expand, but we've determined that this is a pretty solid forest. There's no one coming through to our northern border. It looks like we only have looks like probably something up here that we're gonna have to deal with. One road here, and then vampires are blocking off the road right there. Clancy, I think, is going to get just a little bit closer, see what's going on. Do I want to fight Master Genies? The answer is absolutely not. I'm going to cast Visions for the rest of this turn anyway. 8 Master Genies. It depends on the stack size. If they do 5 stacks, I mean, it depends on the stacks. If they do lots of small stacks, 7 stacks of 1 and then 1 stack of 2, I can actually probably get away with this fight if I end up sacrificing some of my own troops with the Death Ripple. They're going to be faster, so they're going to be able to cast their spells, but I could always just Death Ripple and keep all my centaurs in 1 stack. I think I can win this fight, especially with spells. I think that we ignore that little part in our brain that says, no, this is dangerous, and we just do it. Knowing that if we lose Gem, we lose the scenario, and knowing that losing these centaurs is actually going to be pretty rough, I think that we're still going to do this. We're not going to accept these results. We're going to do this. Aha! Okay, so I am going to end up casting the Death Ripple. This looks too juicy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Genies are going to go down here. 5 and maybe 6 depending on that magic mirror. I don't quite know how magic mirror interacts with Death Ripple. I'm going to lose a whole ton of my centaurs, but I think it's actually going to be better than the amount of centaurs I would have lost otherwise. This is 49. So long as I lose less than 23 centaurs, this is going to be most useful for me. Yeah, that didn't cost me nearly so many centaurs. So I don't feel too bad about that at all. Let's just kind of check on their distance. Oh boy, they're going to hit me if they want me. I think the best thing I can do is just go to right here. And then actually I can potentially cast a spell on this second stack here. I just want to make sure I don't lose any more troops. And I think that that's worth it. So 8 centaurs for 8 master genies. I think that's well worth it. Wow, this is a tough decision. This is a tough decision. Basic water magic. Why would I take basic water magic? Mass bless. Mass prayer. I love mass prayer. Mass prayer is tremendous. Mass prayer is so good. And then, of course, that leads you into things like forgetfulness, which you only need advanced water magic so you can cast it against all the enemy ranged creatures to make them just forget to cast spells, or excuse me, forget to use their ranged attack. I don't think that it's a bad idea to have basic water magic. If it was air magic, no doubt I would have already taken it. Water magic is not bad. There's no reason I can say to not take water magic. What else am I going to take, really? What's so much better than water magic? Maybe logistics, maybe pathfinding, maybe leadership. You know, maybe if I had one of those options, I would take that. But otherwise, I think it's not a bad time to spec into basic water magic. And with that, we only have 2 slots left. So good decision, bad decision. I want to hear it from you in the comments. I think that we have a lot of value with our earth magic. And I could see very, very much people saying, you know what, you've already got 1 expert school of magic. Why don't you just roll with that? And I don't think you'd be wrong. I really don't. But I'm just saying, it's going to give us the increased flexibility to cast the right spell at the right time. And that might be the very most useful thing that we could ever do. Truly. We're going to see about these creatures here. They all want to fight us. That's because we have nothing to our name. But once again, with our 35 spell points, I think we can absolutely take this early fight. And somehow it looks like we're going to end up surviving with like 4, 5, 6, 7 centaurs. Yeah, no, I think we can do better than this. Once again, we're going to end up casting the slow. That's going to make the battle develop much better for us. Note that the slow at expert is going to cause the speed of the creatures affected to go down by half, rounding up. So a 5-speed creature, as these water elementals are, they're going to have a 3-speed when all this is said and done. I don't see any need to keep my centaurs doing anything else other than just kind of waiting at the moment. I'm not going to cast a Death Ripple this time. I think that once again, it's just the magic arrows. 70 damage. Well, 70 damage is only going to kill 2 water elementals at a time, and I'd really much prefer to get them taken care of quicker. Then again, if I bring down their stacks a little bit, then my big stack of centaurs can potentially take down a whole stack. But you know what? More magic arrows is better than 3 lightning bolts, right? I think that that's truly the case. And so with that, we're going to just start slowly wearing these enemies down. If I lose my first aid tent, I will be very sad, but not really. Really, I'd prefer to keep these troops up here alive. That is my priority. I think that because I've got my weight function on, I'm going to be able to just jump in, attack, and then I will be able to jump out before the enemies are able to meet me head on. Just like this. And then lots of defending. Next turn, I'm probably going to end up attacking these water elementals here. How much damage have I been doing with my centaurs? Centaurs have been doing 79 damage. It's going to be 2 water elementals, almost 3. I think that we should be able to kill this whole stack here potentially after we do one more magic arrow right here. Just like this. Didn't kill them all. Got close though. There we go. And then let's try and lose as few of these centaur stacks as possible. knowing that that might just not be possible. Here, 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 here. I can go here. Okay. One centaur goes down. Try and heal this top stack. One more magic arrow. But at this point, the slow has worn off. That's okay, though. Looking at the way that this formation is with this terrain here and where these water elementals are here, I don't think that I need to worry too much. I'm just going to attack this most bottomest stack. The stack the furthest down. Most bottomest stack. Yeah, that's exactly how you do good English. That's how I would do it anyway. I'm going to actually slot some centaurs in right here just so my big stack of 36 are not available to get destroyed. One, there's two, there's three. Oh, way to go, buddy. I'm going to heal you just because you did such a good job. And then might as well defend here. And then one more magic arrow on this big stack of 4. 20 hit points, 9 hit points. We'll kill here. We will defend and defend. And there we go. Attack here, attack here. The Wood Elves might take 1 hit of damage, but the fight is much better. 5 centaurs as opposed to all my elves and my first Atent and 36 of my centaurs. That is much better. We're going to accept that loss. We are officially down to 10 spell points, though. Fighting these Cerberus is not in the cards. I don't think so. If I could have made it back, I probably would have done that instead. Unfortunately, I just don't think I have that possibility. Maybe Clancy. Maybe we're going to pick up Centaur Stables here next turn. And then maybe we will be able to resupply gem. I'm just going to head in this direction so that way I can be a little bit more flexible with my upcoming turn. I don't think there's anything to purchase here, not with 900 gold. Aha! And the enemy, we see, apparently there's this monolith one-way entrance. And so I might have not been very clear about what a one-way lith or a one-way entrance is. It's not, oh, it will take you to simply one other gate. You go into it, and it will then spit you out into a place where you can have a one-way trip, but you cannot come back through that same lith. It gets very annoying in Heroes of Might and Magic 4, where they overuse this to death, and it's the worst thing in the world. But a well-placed monolith one-way can provide pressure on a map that is a one-way flow, and then you can design a map in a way that is very challenging, but you also don't feel like it's unfair, if that makes any sense at all. So, oh, I forgot, we don't have the fort here, so we're not going to be able to resupply with Clancy. He is going to head in this direction. We're going to head up the road just a little bit. I'm guessing that there's going to be guardians on this road. There are Black Knights. That's a pretty good army. I don't want any part of them. Do I need this ore? I have 19 ore. I have an ore mine. I don't think I need that. We're going to sit on the Dwarven Cottage for a second while Jem figures out what to do. The Legs of the Legion are not going to matter this turn because, well, they're just not going to matter. We are not going to be able to get them back to a town, so we can use them this turn. We have 1,700 movement points. Do I have a Mage Guild here? No. Should I get one? Dendroid Arches or making sure that Jem has full spell points next turn? I don't think that's any question, actually. I think that the Mage Guild is more important. I think that the spells are clearly more important than the troops are at this time. We're going to head all the way back. We will get a little bit of a resupply with elves and maybe dwarves. We're probably going to keep them at home, but definitely centaurs. And hopefully we can even upgrade to centaur captains next turn. With that being said, we have 900 gold left. I might as well purchase a few of these dwarves. Do I really want the dwarves that bad? If I don't get them now, I'm not going to be able to recruit them next turn. Buy 7 dwarves now or lose them forever. I actually think I'm okay to lose 7 dwarves. I don't think that they're going to carry me in any fight, and I really value my speed. I really value that my slowest speed creature is a 6-speed creature instead of a 3-speed creature. That matters a lot. And so if they're not going to be my final army, and I can't think of any fight that they're going to help me take right now, then what is the point, I ask you? I'm going to ignore the dwarves for now. I'm going to save that gold for another time. and then Clancy is going to use one of his secondary skill slots. This is a bad idea. You should absolutely have a different hero check out this skill slot. And we're going to have to keep Clancy with us for the rest of this campaign. We've really talked about making Gem the best she can be, and for some reason I don't give Clancy the same courtesy. If it's something really nice, we can always pick it up later. We don't have to be hasty. We don't have to pick that up now. We can just be on our way. We'll come back another day. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it will be bad. We've got time. We have the luxury of waiting to find out. I am going to take the opportunity to get this marketplace for 500 gold. That's going to get us one day closer to this city hall. So I think that's going to be worth our time. And that's going to take us to month 1, week 2, day 1. I think that was a pretty effective first week. In the very first week, what did we do? We went underground and we picked up a homestead. We figured out what is going on down here. We were able to clear out a lot of creatures. We got our sawmill. We got our ore pit. We defeated the guardians of this water wheel. We got our sulfur dune. We got another sawmill. And we've secured what I was worried about. I wasn't sure if this was a way for the enemy to come through or not. So far, so good, actually. Truly, so far, so good. So good. Vampire Lords. Which would I rather fight? Black Knights or Vampire Lords? No question, I think I'd rather fight the Vampire Lords. Black Knights have just too many hit points on them. I think the Vampire Lords are somewhere in the range of, I think it's like 35 to 40. Whereas the Black Knights, I think, have 100 or 120. And that's just too much to swallow. Several versus a pack. I think that a pack is actually fairly doable, especially if I get my upgraded Centaur Captains. Now, which is better, the Homestead or the Centaur Captains? I kind of think that the Centaur Captains might be better, but I want them both. Knowing that I only have 2,400 gold, I think that we're going to go for the Centaur Captain, so that way we have 1,400 gold to upgrade the rest of our troops with. I think that is going to be a better priority for me. At 720 gold there, we might as well get a couple more elves. 3 elves or 7 Centaur Captains. Can Clancy make it to this water wheel? He can. There's nothing in here for him to get. Does he have a spell book? Do we get him a spell book right now? No, I think we have bigger fish to fry. We will use him to go pick up this 1,000 gold, though. And that's actually going to help make this a lot easier. I will pick up 8 elves, and then I'll have my army split up in this general way. So, okay. I feel pretty good about this, and here's the thing. Here's my thought process. What if I clear out vampires, pick up the artifact, pick up the Royal Griffins, and I just clear in this general direction, and then Clancy heads immediately for this locale? I think that's actually going to be pretty okay for me. Shrine of Magic Incantation. I can't think of any spell that I would actually want. I don't think it factors into my plans, even though it's just out of the way. Someone else can step on that for me. This is going to be a tough fight, but again, we've got Destroy Undead for 50 points of damage, and we've got slows, we got magic arrows. We've proven that with magic we can do a lot of these early fights. Gem feels the odds are overwhelming. Do I want to retreat? If I hit yes, I lose the scenario. If I hit no, then I get the opportunity to fight the battle myself. So I don't want to retreat. We only killed 3? Well, I mean, they do regenerate, but I think we can do much better than that. So we do not apply the battle results. And yes, I do have to talk myself through this, or else I will make a mistake. Immediately, we do cast the slow. That's going to be pretty darn important. Let's keep our single stacks in this very defensive formation. We're even going to put 1 here and 1 here. And then we're going to wait 1 step just to see what these Vampire Lords do. They're still getting across the battlefield fairly quickly. It's going to take them 2 more turns, though. And they're going to be slowed for 3 turns. 3 more turns after this. We will try and start killing this stack that's closest to us. Everybody's going to wait. Do we spend the 15? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. They do have 40 hit points each. I think that we're just going to cast Destroy Undead twice. I think so. That's going to make this fight so much easier. And we're going to make it so they are not able to lifesteal enough hit points when they attack, they're not going to do enough damage to actually cause us any grief. I think that that really is the best thing. Plus these wood elves, they're going to start peppering these vampire lords just a little bit more. This closest stack here is going to be in for a rude surprise. 13 hit points, 15 hit points. I think we attack here, and maybe these two try and get a little bit of damage off here. Nah. This vampire lord's going to go down when we cast... Oops, that's not good. When we cast Destroy Undead one more time. Oh. Well, we might have been a little hasty there. Let's back off. And then let's kill right here. I think that we can all see that this battle is won as we just kind of back off and back away from these vampire lords. Oh. Then we should be okay. 25 hit points, 20, yeah. Let's see, both of these creatures can reach us. We're going to back off one more time. I really didn't mean to feed these centaur captains to the enemy here. We back off. Maybe they'll stay alive. They do. Yeah. I guess that when you're so far ahead, you can be just a little bit cheeky. And the enemy can't say anything about it. Okay. But that's the fight. And so again, very costly as far as spell points go, but we have taken out this major barrier here, and rather than go in this direction down the road, I think I am going to have Clancy head that way. I could, let's see. Oh, I love Mafala. She's an excellent hero. She's one of my favorites. This individual comes with the artillery unit. I don't really like him. He's bad. Torosar. Yeah, I don't really understand the heroes who have their speciality of the ballista. I've seen the ballista be terrific. I've seen it kill, hundreds of creatures. I've seen it do, I think the most I've ever seen it do is in the thousands, like in the low thousands. But I think it is affected by your attack skill. But you have to invest very, very heavily in that. And then it only has 250 hit points. It gets focused down, and then your speciality is completely gone. What's the point of that? However, Mafala, with her armor specialty, I hold in very high regard Tizar and Mafala, and less so Neela, but the three major armor speciality heroes. Because being able to essentially do what Crag, Hack, and several other offensive speciality heroes do, but in reverse, just get better by percentage. The better the hero, the more defense you have and the less damage you take, you can get to the point where nobody's hurting you. And it's so good. It's so good. Is she going to be the hero that I'm going to send over to that witch's hut? Meh, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But she's a level 3 ranger, and the tip is blood is thicker than water, which is not the full quote. The quote is, if I'm remembering right, it's something like, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, meaning that it's less about, your bloodlines and a lot more about the bonds you make with people around you. I think that's how the full quote goes. A surprise turn in the landscape finds you in the midst of a grisly scene, vultures picking at the aftermath of a terrible battle. Your cursory search of the remains turns up an enchanted hourglass. This will negate all luck bonuses during combat for both you and your opponent. So, this is a good time to have this backpack here, because I can just plop that down right there. Right now, I suppose it doesn't hurt my feelings to have luck, but it could. It could matter. Pack of Royal Griffins, we do not have a Destroy Undead spell, and yet I think I can still take them. Hey, I sure can. Let's do even better. Oh, they're too fast. But once again, only half of them went and the other half stayed put. Let's cast this slow now. Let's go into a defensive position. We will wait. Send all of our centaurs up where they might be safe. And again, if I do lose the first aid tent, I don't really mind. This griffin's going to still be able to do a whole ton of damage if we let him. So let's not let him if we can help it. Oh, there you go. There he goes. Now's another good time to start casting these magic arrows. With 25 hit points, we're going to kill more of these griffins than we were killing otherwise. Well, damage is 20%. 20 points more damage than basic magic arrow. It does 70 points of damage total. So this will kill 2 griffins, and then there's going to be a little bit left over. So as you can see, 5 hit points left. Waiting here. And then my elves are once again going to focus this group that was closest to us. Healing this gentleman. I'm just going to step forward just a tiny bit. In all these instances, and I will allow these centaurs to kill this one griffin here. I think that 31 centaur captains can do a tremendous amount of damage. 60 to 90, I will kill at least 2 of these royal griffins, and I might kill 3. It's in fact likely that I kill 3. More likely than not that I kill 3. I'm going to try and kill 3 here. I killed 2. Pretty close. I'm just going to defend on these centaurs here, trying to keep them alive. I failed. I did fail. And then I will cast the one more magic arrow and then mop this up with our elves. Okay, 2 centaurs. And a whole ton of spell points, but we have that extra 4 knowledge, so it goes a pretty long way. I probably could have waited on that water wheel for Clancy to go get that. I'm just going to continue with that. Viewing the earth once again. So we know we have crystal down below. There's also crystal over here, though. I don't know. This is going to be several days out of our way. This is going to be at least 4 to 5 days, not to mention it might be very heavily guarded. Whereas we know that there's harpies guarding the crystal mine down below. We already have sulfur. We can roll up here and get mercury. Oh, and there's gems right here. I mentioned gems up here. I thought I had to go way over here to get those. No. There's also gems right here. So I think I might just get mercury, sulfur, crystal, gems, and then rather than go through the Black Knights, who I don't want to go through anyway, I will just go through here with gem. I think that we're going to do one big thing like this, and then back. And hopefully be on our way fairly soon. And hopefully start to consider clearing out dwarven treasuries. Probably not, actually. We can do a lot with magic, but if we have dwarves that are going to ignore our best shot, that just doesn't bode very well for me, I don't think. In fact, that might be a good time to bring some dwarves around for a battle. Rather than get the blacksmith and then the city hall. It's going to take 1, 2, 3 turns to get upgraded elves, or elves now, and then just put out an extra 1,000 gold per day for an extra turn. Let's get the elves now, and then we're going to get the blacksmith in the city hall next turn. This will let us get all these elves. The rest of these centaurs, nope, there are none. And then can we reach? We can. I'm going to do that now. And I'm going to have Clancy just go up the road, and that's going to be his job at the moment. That is what we're going to do. Now let me think about this. Is this the best move for me? Probably not. Once again, vampires, but this is a pack. I think that's many less vampires than we had to fight before. Do I have enough magic points to do vampires and pit fiends? I think so. But not dwarves. Gem wants to run. Do I want to retreat? The answer is no. I do not apply the battle results. We did a lot better this time than we did last time, though. We're going to not cast shield. We're going to cast slow. And then just go into a defensive position here. Are you tired of hearing me say defensive position? Are you tired of hearing me say things like dive right in? Are you tired of hearing me say things like difficult to say? Are you tired of hearing me say things like I think you have a very valid concern. I have actually worked a little bit since I've been recording these videos on being more fluent, more rapid in my speech, but also trying to be better with my my filler words, and sometimes I do better than others, I've noticed. In fact, that's the real reason why I will sometimes listen back, and I usually don't watch these videos again, but I'll have them playing in the background and I'll listen to what I'm saying, so that way I can try and get better at saying things and explaining things. It helps me do better for the next time I maybe come across a situation that I'm trying to explain. And I have really done my absolute best to remove some of those filler words and to get more fluent in the way I'm speaking. I think that there's a big difference from the very first video I ever did to now. Quite frankly, the very first video I ever did, and I have no problems about telling you this, I was trying to be very studious. I was trying to be very straight-laced and not be exciting at all. And the biggest thing that I think that we noticed as we take no losses here, the biggest thing I noticed is that it was technically all pretty correct and it sounded okay and there were no filler words for the most part, but it was also so monotonous. It was so boring. Heroes of Might and Magic is a game that's supposed to be fun. And so if you're not having fun, then, I mean, if you don't sound like you're having fun, people aren't going to have fun either. And so I think that I've made some appropriate decisions to prevent that from being a major problem. And part of that is just making sure that my tone of voice is going up and down. It's making sure that I'm happy, fancy-free, and footloose, things of that nature. And maybe you've experienced that with me, and maybe you haven't. Maybe you've seen me get better over time. Depends on how long you've been around. But I've really enjoyed kind of getting better at this craft, trying to find that nice line between being professional but also being fun. Very much fun. Very much fun. And I hope that it comes through that I have a ton of fun when I do these videos, because I really do. I really enjoy Heroes of Might and Magic. It's a very relaxing experience. And part of that is, I'm sure, being able to overcome these massive forces like we are doing right here. It is fun, in my humble opinion. We're going to kill at least one. We're only going to kill one if we head out right now, and they're still going to take a couple more turns to get to us. We're going to wait one more time. It's really fun to turn these fights on their head and to win these fights that we have no business winning. That is fun. Truly, this is fun when you're able to get such a great start and just win. This is fun. This is so much fun. And I love the ups, I love the downs, and I love the community. Whether it was the folks who are specifically here for Heroes of Might and Magic 2, or whether it's the folks that are here for, just Heroes in general. There are so many good, wonderful people that play Heroes of Might and Magic, and I'm so here for it. And I'm so grateful for all of y'all. I really am. We are a little bit of a... Oh, never mind. I fixed my problem. I was going to say we're at a little bit of a rough spot here. Just trying to make sure we don't make any more losses there. A better player would have lost no centaurs in this fight. I'm going to lose one. But not too bad. Overall, it worked out just fine. Although I am going to have to wait overnight in my mage guild so I can get additional spell points. We picked up some attack skill. Very happy to see that. We're going to pick up the expert first aid because I just really don't want to take luck. If I can possibly help it, I do not want to take luck. So I'm not going to. Can we make it back in one turn? No, it's going to be fairly close. We cannot make it back in one turn. We can make it to here in one turn, though. Which is better? I think it's going to actually be best to sit here, recoup our spell points, and then just head down on the road. I think that we'll come out just a little bit further ahead than if we go here, here, and here. That's going to be 1, 2, 3 days versus 1, 2, 3 days. It's going to be close either way. It's going to be very close. Traveling by road the whole time either way. Okay. Not ideal. We see the Bird of Perception, guarded by some basilisks. In case you want the best secondary skill in the world, which is of course the Eagle Eye, then you want that artifact. Aha! White Moon. Yeah, that's very good, because we had talked about this road kind of doing this little deal here in the view Earth, and that's what we're looking at there. The road just has this little end, and so we're correct here. I'm guessing, I don't know what this road leads to, but I'm guessing that there is a town or a castle here. And if memory serves, because I have played this scenario, it's been a while, then it's going to be at least one castle, maybe a second one. I'll tell you what, the biggest thing that surprised me, just from my recollection, is this. I don't recall this at all being an enemy up to here. In fact, I don't even know how you get over here. Maybe there's a lift? There's a lot of questions I have. But the enemy does not look to be flagging mini mines at this time. So just worth noting. We're going to come on over here. Might as well. Might as well. It's good for the morale of the troops here in this town, if nothing else, just to see me. Now this is interesting. So we have a pack of Silver Pegasi. We have the pack of Pegasi. It's possible that we will be able to pick up these troops with the use of our vision spell, like we did in the previous scenario. I think, in fact, that it's possible, like quite possible. And I think that we should plan on it. I do. We will plan on it as quickly as we can. And we are also going to try and save for this 5,000 gold, just so we can get our city hall and get some additional gold generating. We're still a little bit, well, we got a blacksmith here. We're going to pick one and then get that one upgraded. I'd rather have my main castle have gold as well, just so that way you're closer to a capital. And then if I have to choose between defending this town and this castle, the choice is already made for me. I defend the castle, and it's not difficult to make that prioritized decision. I am becoming to feel quite at home in the Rampart Castle. I'm even starting to get accustomed to the dragons. Actually, it's the dendroids that make me a little uncomfortable. Not them personally, they're really quite friendly. It's just that they remind me of a past I'd rather forget. I haven't seen moving trees since I was a little girl. I don't understand that reference there. I'm trying to think in Heroes 1 or something else, if at any point that's discussed as being something to consider for Gem. I do not know if she's got trees in her past. We know that there's crystal over here, but then there's this road up here. I really want to get up this road. Oh, I want to go over here. I wanted to go east the whole time. Can't you tell? I mean, I didn't really want to go up the road. It was just like a maybe, like if I feel like it, okay, then great. I didn't actually want to go up the road. So I won't. Yeah, easy. It looks like it was pretty much break even as far as going to which one castle or the other. It's day 4. I'm still looking at the Citadel. We probably at least want to get the Citadel, but we're also only one day away from getting that City Hall. I'm doing a bad job, by the way, I've noticed, of reading some of these what do you call them? These adventure map objects. I need to do a better job. I need to slow down and do just a bit better at explaining what's going on with those. Because, again, I love the text boxes, and for some reason, I'm just so used to playing this game at breakneck speed. I didn't talk about the Marletto Tower. I haven't read the Water Wheel. There's stuff I need to do. So I will really try and do better with that. I am putting off this decision. Do I have enough to defeat these troops? Because I'm coming down here one time. I'm never coming down here again. It's a one-time thing. Okay, except for the homestead. I might come down here for the homestead multiple times. So assume that I'm going to walk out of here with 17 elves. Plus the 7 grand elves. Is this enough to defeat these enemies? Really, the pack of Minotaur Kings is probably more concerning. Based off of all the good things I've done with my spells, I don't think we need to worry too much. We're going to combine our centaurs just so we have our centaur captain so we can pick up 14 centaurs. And that's going to make me feel pretty okay about fighting all this. I don't know about that Dwarven Treasury. I really don't. We're gonna go here and then here. Here, and then back over there. It's going to be very inefficient, but when we attack the Harpies, we're then going to have some additional stats because of these artifacts, and that will help us. And I am going to pick up these elves first because it's day 5. We're running low on time, and they will also help me with the Minotaurs. Okay, crystal here. I do see this Buckler of the Knoll King. That was very useful in the previous scenario, giving us a +4 to our defense. Very nice to be a very defensively minded hero. I think we have to pay for these archers. We do. I don't know if it's worth 900 gold right now, especially when we are wanting to get our citadel. We're still way too far away from getting these orcs taken care of, and so there's not much to do over here. Is it worth it to start getting archers? Let's get the black. Well, no. Let's get our priorities. Let's get the Citadel. Let's get the blacksmith. And then we don't have any gold for the archers because we just fumbled our turn. Okay. Spiffing. And then we will move on from here. Jem wants to run away again. Do I want to retreat? No. Oh no, but I only killed 3? That actually feels kind of bad. Let's hope we can do better. Thankfully, the very, very fast Minotaur Kings with their 9 speed, they decided to wait, and that is going to cost them, because now we can slow them. 50 hit points each. It's going to take a whole lot of spell points to really bring these guys down. And so with that being said, let's just go into this defensive position as we've already talked about. And let's just kind of hope for the best. We'll wait here, and then we will throw this first aid tent to the wolves. Hey, buddy. That just means I'm going to attack you first. Just because you got your good morale. That means that you're going to get attacked first. This is actually interesting. They moved right into the place. You can see my broken arrow versus the non-broken arrow. They moved right into range. I guess I don't really know what to make of that. Is it worth it to spend the additional spell points? 2 additional spell points for 20 extra points of damage? I don't think so. I think that the magic arrows are still going to do the job. So we're gonna still do that. 30 hit points, 39, 48. I'm probably going to attack this top stack of Minotaur Kings in just a second. Grand Elves are going to continue to berate this stack here. 1 hit point left there. Oh my goodness, that's the second time he's gotten good morale. Ooh. Okay. This is the perfect time actually to mention, if you didn't know, that the Minotaur Kings have good morale. That is in the little box below their morale, their luck, their spell. There's the spells that are affecting them. And what that means is that they're always going to have good morale. And the only thing that can prevent that is the Spirit of Oppression. The Spirit of Oppression is here in this cave, isn't it? Was I supposed to get the Spirit of Oppression to make this fight even easier? And nobody told me. Nobody took the time to tell me. Guys, we are in this together, and if you're just going to leave me out to dry like this, then I don't know what to say. Guys, come on. We're going to try and defend here. I can kill 1 Minotaur King here. Is it better to attack and lose this 1 Centaur Captain on the retaliation, or is it better to just go into a defensive position? Centaurs are going to attack here next. I think that we wait. I think we go right here, we wait, so that way we magic arrow here, we bring down a whole stack here, wait again. I don't trust that 10 elves can kill 30 hit points worth. I guess I should have, though. And from here, the battle is won, especially since they are not going to get good morale one more time. We still have 93 spell points to our name as we wrap this up. Okay. But yeah, that Spirit of Oppression actually is probably in this cave for a reason. I just saw it and I thought, oh, that's nifty. No. The Spirit of Oppression is the only thing that can prevent the Minotaur's good morale. And as you can see, that morale actually ended up being kind of a big deal. The widow of a former captain of the guard admires your quest and gives you the enchanted sword that her husband relied on during his tour of duty. Your husband was a dead knight? What? Lady, did you know this about him? While venturing into a decrepit hut, you find the skeleton of a long-dead witch. Investigation of the remains reveals a ring with the dragon's eye set into it. This is going to be... Oh, I was incorrect. I said it was +1 to attack and defense. That's the quiet eye of the dragon. The still eye of the dragon increases your luck and morale by +1. Very happy to see that. We are going to be able to get back to the homestead before the new week. We will pick up these elves. In fact, that might be the last thing we do with our turn. It really might be the last thing we do with our turn. I will wait here with Clancy because I don't have anywhere else for him to go. Whoop. Did you see that? That is a little bit scary. And that actually gives me great pause. Because I feel very strongly that I need to get on the board here. I need to get moving. If I can get 6 crystal, that's not going to be enough. These packs of crystal come in, I think, between 2 and 5, and then the wood and the ore come in packs of 5 to 10. I think that's how that works. The precious resources come in packs between 2 and 5. The non-precious resources come in packs of 5 to 10. But then again, I could get crystal here and then get crystal there, and then I could get my Pegasi here. That's possible. Is it worth it to fight dwarves? You're going to be surrounded by dwarves. You think that's worth it? With these spells? You're going to cast a slow. And let's just assume the worst case scenario. Say that that the stack of battle dwarves does not get slowed, and let's say that also 2 of the other stacks of regular dwarves don't get slowed. You're going to feel foolish. You are going to feel foolish. You need to wait on this until you get at least unicorns, I think. I do. I really think. I think that you've been really pushing Gem's capabilities to the limit. And I don't think that you can, in good faith, continue to be wild and crazy without repercussions. Like, the day is going to come where your party tricks are not going to impress the enemy. And I think that we're actually, that's one of those times where it's going to be just a little too much. I know I'd waited here with Clancy to maybe pick up these 9 archers. Do I really need 9 more archers? I've got nothing else to spend my gold on. I'm going to buy them. We're going to go back so that he can help get water wheels. These water wheels are going to pay for themselves. And eventually some other good things are going to happen. Let me cast View Earth one more time. You're going to get sick and tired of me casting View Earth. Okay, so claimed. So the enemy is probably in this area and they've gone this way. This is those power liches, and we saw that they were already right here. If they go through these black knights, we are in trouble. But that's a pretty tall order. Several black knights is a very tall order. Okay, we don't see any activity. That's actually good. I really think that that's excellent for us, actually. Let's have Clancy continue on his way. 1,000 experience for Gem. Learning Stone. A smooth stone on the face of this pillar begins to swirl as you approach. Looking into it, you are amazed to see answers to questions you have pondered over the years. The stone suddenly goes still, but you realize you have learned much. That 1,000 experience is very nice. We're going to go right into these harpy hags. Like this. Gonna expect some losses. That's actually pretty okay. It really is fine. And yet here I am fighting this battle again. Woefully absent, I believe, I'm not sure, is the ability and the opportunity to prevent the strike and return if these are your own harpy hags. Horn of the Abyss has done an excellent job with some of the creature abilities that makes them so much better than they otherwise would have been. Harpy hags, you occasionally will miss out on damage that you would otherwise love to have. And why is that? It's because you need to jam up some enemy shooters, but with the strike and return ability, you're going to attack, and then you're going to go back to where you were, and then the ranged troops are going to do full damage to you. That's less than ideal. And so Horn of the Abyss was able to make it for the harpy hags and the harpies that they will be able to strike and stay. And that increased functionality is actually a big deal. It's actually pretty massive. And I love that the community is thinking in those terms, that they're trying to find the best way that they can improve the game without breaking it. That seems like one of those quality of life buffs that is just going to help everybody out. You also have things like the Magogs and the Power Liches. They are able to use their Death Cloud ability on a ground, like you can do it like target ground, attack ground, and then you can get the full effect of their Poison Cloud. You can do damage to enemy units that will not actually hurt your own troops that are adjacent to those troops that you were trying to shoot. huge use case kind of a deal and prevents your troops from being much less effective than they otherwise would be. Because of these additions, these changes that you'll find through Horn of the Abyss. Again, I don't know if those particular changes have made it here to our playthrough here. In fact, I think that they have not, but we will see. We will see. We'll be on the lookout for that. Walking through the ruins of an ancient walled city, you find the instrument of the city's destruction, the spirit of oppression that is going to negate all morale bonuses during combat for both you and your opponent. Hey! We've talked about that. And then extra 1,000 gold here. Probably not a bad time to pick up some dwarves. Final purchases here. Tell you what, if I upgrade them from dwarves into battle dwarves, I think it's probably going to be time to consider taking some dwarves on the road. I think so. Oh. I'm scared. We need another hero. My elven scouts have just reported there's a necromancer to the northeast. It appears he may be in the vicinity of the amulet. The scouts also informed me he is terrorizing and killing the locals. I will lie to rest every tortured soul this necromancer has locked in an undead body. We need to start thinking about getting this fort upgraded. We finally have a little bit of gold. I think it's time to do that on the one hand. On the other hand, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, but I really want Gem to set out and be the best she can be. Partially so that these Pegasi and Silver Pegasi will join us, and partially so that if we run across a big enemy, that we actually can hold our own. With the spells, we can do a lot, but we're going to need to have some additional backup. Like you've got to have an actual backbone of troops, and I don't know if 47 Centaur Captains and 42 Grand Elves is going to do it. Oh, I suppose. And 74, 70, 81 Centaur Captains is going to do it. I just don't know. It's so impossible to say at this point. So the fort is going to have to wait for just a little bit longer. These Legs of the Legion, I really do want that, but I'm trying to share my heroes a little bit here. And I just don't think it's worth it to go out of my way for the Legs of the Legion right now. I am going to wait so I can get my full spell points. That's going to recoup a healthy amount. And then we're going to just head on this direction very, very shortly. With only 70 gold left, it's hard to say that we can do much more. Let's get a first look at our enemy. Septinia is not too bad. A couple power liches, some Walking Dead, and some pikemen. Lots of pikemen, lots of Walking Dead. And Galthran is actually the big deal here. And I believe that his speciality is skeletons. In fact, I can almost guarantee you it is skeletons. So with the pack of power liches and the throng of skeletons, pack of wights, not wraiths, he's a pretty nifty hero. It looks like he's just picked up some troops that joined him. Horned demons, basilisk, kings, Pegasi. Those were supposed to be our Pegasi, buddy. Yeah. We're going to have to see what we can do. I think that we can absolutely match him, first of all. Second of all, I think that if we are able to defeat him now and we were able to give another hero run up this road as far as they can go, just to explore, I think we're going to be in a really good position. It can't be a Clancy. If we lose Clancy, we lose the scenario. So we have to be careful with him. Gem is the same way, but I think we can definitely defeat these forces as currently constituted. What creature is going to be the most important for me moving forward? Is it going to be dwarves, or is it going to be Pegasi, which I can get the crystal springs? I can get the enchanted spring now. Will it be Pegasi, Dendroids, or battle dwarfs that'll be the best for me to add to this army? I actually think it's probably going to be Pegasi, just so that way you can get down the battlefield and disrupt the power liches. I think that decision is actually going to be the most key for me. It's going to take away half the gold I could spend on troops. It's going to take up one of my creature slots. It's only going to be 5. Only 5. But I think that's actually going to be pretty useful for me. We're going to stick them in the very middle so they can respond to the top of the battlefield or the bottom of the battlefield. We have more centaurs, we do. And I know I should just be here in the Citadel. I should be buying troops here with the recruit all function. Old habits die hard. Old habits die hard. I will get better over time, but for now, old habits die hard. I need to make sure that I am heading in a direction where Galthran cannot escape. Are you sure we can win this fight? Pretty sure. And I think we better, because now it's just these troops. In the future, it'll be even more. So I think we head in this direction, so if he tries to run, we will be able to catch him. So we're going to head right here, even though there's a part of me that really wants to try and get these troops to join us. Even though. Where is our break point? We can go to right here. And then maybe we cast the vision spell. These 13 Pegasi are in a mood for a fight. These creatures will run from us. That tells me everything I need to know. If we could have gotten them to join us, that might have changed my decision making. As of right now, it does not. These creatures are willing to join us. I think that we absolutely take the basilisks. Absolutely. To just counteract their troops. That's a no-brainer there. And that's going to take us just a tiny bit out of our way. And I don't even care about this artifact here. Somebody else can pick it up later. Let's make sure that Septinia can't get behind us. I'm guessing she can probably get to right about here. Maybe we have Clancy ready to resupply with additional troops. That's probably what we're going to do. Because I think he can maybe reach with his logistics. He could probably reach to about there. Especially if I give him the faster creatures. Let's give him just these centaurs for next turn. Let's actually trade a little bit of gold so it can be a 8-speed centaur captain. Much better. He will have 1,800 movement points next turn. Gem had 1,760 this turn. If she can get that far, he can definitely get that far. Now let's go on to the next day. If Galthran turns around and dives right onto Gem, I'll be scared. But especially with these 19 basilisks, I don't think I need to worry. I do want Septinia to run as well. I want everybody to try and run and me to clean them all up. If she tries to do a desperado move and try and get as much exploration done as she can, or fight a fight or something, that'll be worse for me. But either way, it'll be fine. And our priority is here, and then we'll see what we do here. Let's just go on to the next day to see what happens. Wow, I'm very surprised. I am so surprised. With those troops, you were able to defeat the Castle of White Moon, or the town of White Moon, huh? I'm very happy to know, actually, that they were not willing to join us then. Very happy indeed. I think Clancy's a little too close. I don't want her to turn on him now. It's day 5. Think about dendroids, think about gold, think about the castle. Castle should be our next priority, I think, actually. More so than the fort? Yeah, it's going to take too long to get this other castle built up. 5,000 gold, 2,500 gold. Let's get the dendroid arches now. We'll get the castle next turn. Week 3 is a good time to really try and get troops where you need them. This is a bad idea, by the way. If Gem goes too far north and she runs right into somebody who is too tough for her, what do we do? The answer is you lose, you die. Are we sure that Galthran is a primary hero and not a secondary or a tertiary hero? I'm not. I am not. I would love to chase him because he's probably like right here. He's probably right here. But in good faith, I cannot chase him into the darkness. Because it's one of those things that even if it works out correctly, you'll say to yourself, I'm so smart because my decision worked out correctly. And if it doesn't work out correctly, you'll say it was always a bad decision. Based off of the information I currently have, we know he's somewhere right there. But we also know that there's so many more unknowns that in good faith we cannot advance. And so for that reason, we will pick up the rally flag. We will defeat Septinia. And we will try and prevent her from running away because maybe she has something worth having. Let's just see about this. 19 Walking Dead, 18 pikemen, 2 skeletons, 3 liches. So no single spell will win this fight for me. It sounds like she just wants to run, and she didn't even cast a spell to run the first time. So maybe I just kind of wait on my turns and just see what she's going to do. Okay, never mind. Have a nice day. Kingdom Overview tab. We need gems. We've already got crystal. We've got the Spirit of Oppression this time, but meh. In fact, we have good morale because of the Still Eye of the Dragon. I think we ought to keep the Spirit of Oppression out, especially when fighting undead. There's no need to have that. The +1 crystal is not really going to matter. Let's pick up this Town of White Moon. Let's get our gems and go from there. Darn. It's day 5. We had a plan here, but I don't really know what to do with Clancy at the moment. Send him on a goodwill trip? Surely not. Maybe there's something over here that we don't know about. No, guess not. We'll have him go over here then in that case. Okay, more enemies. Protection from fire. You know what? I've never really been very good at using the protection from spells. Protection from fire, protection from water. I've never been super good at using those. That makes me feel a little bit bad. If the enemy wasn't going to join me before, I don't know if they're going to join me now. The only reason why they might join me now is if the basilisks bring my army strength up to the point where they want to fight me. I guess not. So, do I want to fight them? For the experience? No. We are going to have plenty of experience later in the future. We might as well just let these guys run. Probably go into the Subterranean gate then, and then sit on this homestead. I received a very interesting letter from Sandro today. Apparently he convinced his master I could be entrusted with the full story. It seems that Ethric is doing more than just research. He believes he has found a way to construct a necromancy suppressing artifact, but to do this, he needs 3 lesser artifacts: an amulet of the Undertaker, a vampire's cowl, and a pair of dead man's boots. Sandro offered me more gold to find the other 2 artifacts once I locate the amulet. I wrote back to Sandro that Ethric's project was a worthwhile one and promised to search for the 2 artifacts after finding the amulet of the Undertaker. After sending off the letter, I decided to look up Ethric upon the completion of my quests and persuade him to let me donate money towards his research. I admire his values. Oh, honey, no. No, don't do that, no. Let's see. Okay, with this being done, you know what I should have done a second ago? I should have hired another hero now. Whoa, buddy. Ivor, not bad. Looks good to me. But Solomir provides a unique opportunity. We're going to pick him up. Why is that? I am now looking for a hero that starts off with Scholar. So, I don't know to what level we can get our mage guilds up in this scenario. Last scenario, we can only get them up to level 3. Maybe we can get them up to level 4. Maybe it's still capped at level 3. But if you can get the chain lightning that Solomir is known for, if you can get this taught to a hero with expert scholar and then teach that over to Gem, you can have a real good time. For that reason, this is actually probably the worst hero to hire, knowing that I really wanted to send him east so that he could scout. But then again, I think I'm going to need more heroes anyway. And so, should I pick up Ivor now or should I wait one more turn? I think I will wait one more turn. Simply because I want to have there be a new group of possible heroes that could show up. And maybe I get one that is more suited towards finding Scholar and helping me out in that way. It just says, would you like to recruit the Wood Elves? I should have read the Keymaster's Tent. It's the same from Heroes 2 to Heroes 3, I believe. More or less. Picking up Centaurs. Solomir is going to be able to probably start picking up Dwarves. And again, this Witch's Hut. And I do have enough gold that it makes sense for me to start doing this. Tome on Sorcery. Sorcery. Basic Sorcery. Causes hero spells to inflict an additional 5% damage in combat. I think that gets up to a maximum of 15%. Which means that if you're going to get a hero that's going to have like 12 plus spell power, that sorcery can really kick in a big way. As of right now, I don't think it's going to be that useful, mostly because Gem is usually the utility spells, basically. But I'm very well aware that it could be useful. I will think on that. No decisions just yet. Definitely glad that Clancy did not pick it up. How about that? A stone statue of a warrior holds a silver shield. As you remove the shield, the statue crumbles into dust. It's going to be a +4 to our defense skill. Pretty massive, actually. +3 attack, +4 defense, plus luck and morale, +4 to our knowledge. We've got some excellent artifacts. I'm feeling okay about the way this is going, minus the fact that I don't know where the enemy is and what they're doing. I did notice, though, in the previous day, it said red has the most powerful forces. That's a little scary. I'm a little bit scared to see that. Ivor, somehow between yesterday and today, has changed his stacks of creatures. Okay. We're going to let him change his stack of creatures, by the way. Doesn't hurt my feelings. We're definitely going to take all of his creatures, minus this one centaur who's going to be his... I almost said his ward. Kind of like Batman and Robin. Robin is Batman's ward. I don't think that that's the appropriate way of looking at that centaur-Ivor relationship. Just saying. Probably not the best. Rissa is here with her +1 to Mercury. Didn't we already see her once? I feel like we did. Also, I've heard the residents of the tower will construct a great skyship to honor any hero who brings them the Grail. It did indicate, though, that the Kingdom Army strength, that Red is the strongest hero. Gosh darn it, it's Thant. Thant is a little bit tough and a little bit scary. What I should have done, I think, is when I was trying to decide if Galthran, if I should have taken him on, I should have looked at the Thieves Guild. And I think that what this tells me is this. I was right to not go into the darkness because Thant could have been there. If Thant is their best hero, he might have had the better troops. He might have been waiting just out of sight. And that would have been the worst thing for me. It's nice to know that Gem is a little bit safe. Even if it's going to cost me, it's nice to know that Gem is a little bit safe. I've got enough gold, and I need to get out onto the map. I will pick up Rissa with her plus Mercury, just so she can also make some potential scouting opportunities happen. We will see. It's not uncommon to see me run more heroes in Heroes of Might and Magic 3 than I do in Heroes 2. Generally in Heroes 2, I don't use as many heroes, quite frankly. Why is that? I feel like I can do more with less. Ivor feels like the odds are overwhelming. Do I want to retreat? No, actually I need to see who this is. Isra. It's going to be a speciality for, I think, necromancy. Wow, look at this. Look at this expert tactics coming out. 4, 3, 3, and 2. Pretty okay, buddy. Pretty okay. I don't have any spells, so I'm just going to run. I'll save this one Centaur Captain's life. He's been a good guy for me. I'm sure that it's the best thing I can do. Pick up the artifact. I don't really care. I sent a message to Clancy telling him about Ethric's project and that I had promised to help Sandro find a vampire cowl and a pair of dead man's boots. We're going to send Rissa to the rally flag. She's going to run in this general direction. We'll see if Isra follows her. I don't think he's going to be able to catch up to her. Maybe, you know what, let's go to here. It's going to help us potentially head back over this direction, and I don't think he can actually reach. Gem is going to have a field day with him. Whoa! As you pick up the nugget, you suddenly realize the bulk of it is underground. This nugget is huge. That's going to be 4,000 gold. That is a big pickup. I almost walked right by that. Pack of Minotaurs. Do we now put on the Spirit of Oppression? I think so. No good morale for you. They want to run. I'm going to let them. Why am I not fighting them? I don't need the experience. I think I'm going to have plenty of experience by the time this map is over. So I will not fight them. We will pick up the crystal. We will head in this direction. The orcs want to run. Once again, we're going to let them. And I think that since we're right here, we'll pick up the water wheel. I don't want Isra to head over this way. But if he does, Clancy will meet him. And I do believe Clancy can actually hold his own. with his level 7. I think that he'll do a mighty fine job for me. Clancy can pull his weight. Even though this is a tough hero, I think that those numbers seemed fairly reasonable. They do. I know the enemy is probably going to take this town right now, but I'm going to get the tavern just knowing that eventually I'm going to be able to pick up some other things. I'm going to be able to get the town hall soon. No, he just runs. That means that Rissa has the duty, oh gosh, to get as far up here as she can. Sanctuary. She can't reach. So there's 3 heroes here. Galthran, Isra, and Vokil. There are 3 enemies here. There's an abandoned mine right here, but it's already owned by Red, so they've cleared out some pretty big troops. There's Scorpicorus right here. Goodness. You know what? This might be an opportunity, actually. If I can make this perfect, and I can get a hero to say right here, and then they're able to get right into the sanctuary, that can be a very good holding position for any hero. Clancy's going to do resupply. Solomir is doing these backup logistics. Gem is the scariest hero that they've ever seen. And even though I don't know where Thanta is, I think I need to put myself in a position where I can at least threaten this. After one more resupply. Okay. We've got a lot of gold. We could have considered getting the treasury sooner rather than later. I'm trying to get a quick advantage now, which is why I'm not really devoting a whole lot of time to my economy here. I'm trying to move faster rather than slower. Do I purchase all these troops? Here for sure. Here for sure. 7,000 gold left. Is it time to bring out the dwarves? I can get all 43 of them. I think I'll take them, and I think I'll even take the dendroids. No, 3 speed versus 5 speed. We're going to leave the dendroids. They're just too slow. Too slow. Everybody else we take, minus these archers, because they might also slow us down. Then we're going to head in this direction. Gem needs, again, one more resupply. But if we can get that resupply, I think that we head here and then head up the road as far as she can go. Call that a day. Let's move over here. And here. Silver Pegasi here. And in that case, we're actually going to have the Silver Pegasi split like this. So we're going to have Grand Elves, mostly guarded by Battle Dwarves. We're going to have the Silver Pegasi at the very bottom of the battlefield, Pegasi in the very middle. Centaur Captains are going to be here, here, and here. That's how we're going to do this thing. Oh, I keep messing that up. I want to go shift. Well, that's because that's it's an F Heroes 2 thing. I'm using hotkeys for F Heroes 2, not there. Okay. And then Gem heads on up with her Spirit of Oppression. Probably not the best deal. +2 morale. No good luck. That fairy ring has been visited. I think that this is the way to go, and then we're going to try and lose the basilisks as soon as possible. Rissa's going to take the brunt of this aggression. I don't think anyone's going to run right by me to go get Clancy. And I don't think that they could make it even if they tried. Rissa goes down. I'm just going to accept that. No! Well, that's that. I don't want to retreat, Clancy, but I just can't keep you alive. You're going to have to run, and you are a win-loss condition. And so that's going to be the end of this scenario. Dang. Dang. Well, that's that. We will retreat rather than surrender. The The hero Clancy has suffered a defeat. Your quest is over. I did not think the enemy would be able to get that far up the road. I knew that they had vision of this area. I did not think they would go right for Clancy just like that. That hurts so bad. That hurts so bad, but understandable. Understandable. Wow. So, the quest is over here. We're going to see this lovely end screen loss. And I hate to say it, but I don't feel like I have moments like this in Heroes 2 or Heroes 4. I feel like this is kind of like a phenomenon I find in Heroes 3, where I end up losing whole campaigns, whole scenarios for little things like that. And I shouldn't call it